All right, we're pretty much ready to roll. We'll get some viewers out here and play the intro, and then we'll be rocking and rolling. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Let's Grow Pulling, the official podcast of the Beer Money Pulling team. Mike Idle here, and Doug Borth coming over from Full Pull Live. Full Pull Live, Beer Money Pulling team, both kind of a skeleton crew tonight. People are working and testing and streaming, and happy Memorial Day, not just Memorial Day weekend, but this is the official Memorial Day. So hats off to all those out there who have made the sacrifice and paid the dues so that way we can enjoy this amazing sport in this amazing country of ours. So hopefully everyone had a safe, fun, rejuvenating, and enjoyable Memorial Day weekend. And that means we're right on the cusp of outdoor pulling season. Doug, how you doing this evening, buddy?
Good. Fighting the weather as usual, I think, like everybody else is, but.
Yep. Rain, sun, more rain, dry for a day, and then plenty of rain in between. And if you're a farmer out there, we pray and hope that you've got the crops in the ground. That's the sprint this time of year. And I know I had a puller I was supposed to go interview tomorrow, and he got a hold of me and he said, not going to be able to do it, bud. We've still got planning to do before we're headed to Benson, North Carolina. And Doug, you're headed to Benson, and Full Pull Live's got some cool stuff they're going to be debuting in Benson, right?
Yeah, we debut our live stream this weekend. Friday night is actually a free broadcast to everybody. Fullpull.live or fullpull.us. You can sign up. And we're looking forward to, I think we have 32 sessions that we will be live streaming for the NTPA. So.
And cool thing about that, and I'll put that over here on the screen really quickly. Go to fullpull.us, and you can just click right here at Full Pull Live. If you click on this tab, it's going to show you anything that you've already signed up for. I've already signed up for it. The Galat Mule City 300, where the NTPA is going to kick off their season. And this one right here is completely and totally free. So you can go out there and check that out. And then after you watch that, if you want to continue watching for the rest of the year, it's, what is it, $39.99?
$39.95. Yep.
$39.95 per month.
99. I guess I'm not not
somewhere in there
precise on 4 cents. So
yeah. We won't haggle over that last 4 cents, but yeah, that's great. I know I've paid monthly subscriptions before for pulling platforms, and I'm a big fan of that live stream. It's a lot of awesome content produced by a lot of people who know what they're doing. And I'm excited. I'm excited to watch that pull in Benson and watch everything kick off. So it should be pretty good. Doug, you guys feeling like you got the trailers loaded and everything's ready to go and you're on top of your game and it's going to be awesome?
Getting close. I had to come home on Wednesday for graduation, so I'm flying back tomorrow morning. But we want to roll by Wednesday to get there Wednesday night, so we have ample time to get set up and put on the best show we can.
It's a great product. It's a great way to experience pulling. And now, even easier than ever, both fullpull.live or Full Pull Live and outlawpulling.tv are available on Roku. They used to be, you had to go to the actual, I would say the physical website, but the digital website, get access to it there, grab your HDMI cable, get your big Bluetooth speakers, hook up to the TV and get your sound system just right. But now if you've got Roku, and as the week rolls or as the next couple of weeks roll, it'll be on other smart TVs as well. And you just click on that and boom, that's going to be a seamless and easy way to take in pulling right from your recliner. Should be good to go. So everyone is watching Let's Grow Pulling this evening. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know any questions you have for Doug or myself. I know Doug's got a very busy agenda. He's flying out at 3:30 in the morning, so he might have to duck out of here a little bit early. Tell us what pool you're going to be watching. Tell us what pool you're going to be live streaming. Let us know any of the questions that you might have. Got some comments pouring in already. Parade Alley Pong, Mr. BG Parting Nut himself. Sup, Mikey? How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see that you're watching. Says he's waiting for his beer money t-shirt. Hey, we could probably make something happen there. We know who to contact, right, Doug, if we need one of those. Right. I think she's just off camera, I think, somewhere in the background.
Yes.
Chuck Hobbs,
I don't know.
in.
I'm not sure if Outlaw is doing the Fire TV too, but Full Pull is also available on Fire TV or the Amazon.
Yep, I know. So I don't have Roku. I'm on Fire Stick, and I know I looked for them both the other day. So Full Pull Live is on Fire Stick already. Is that right?
Yes.
Awesome. So we'll be able to get it from there. Yeah, Parade Alley Pong says he couldn't find it on Roku. Just double check and look for that. But yep, the app is always excellent. Farmer J Money. I'm getting one t-shirt for summer. And he says he's watching from Indiana. And Chuck Hobbs says he's going to be watching Benson. Speaking of Benson, we've got a pretty awesome hype video that we can play for that. Guys, Benson's going to be totally free on Friday night. It's going to be a teaser trailer, but the whole pull will be free. And here's a little something to get you guys fired up for that. Here's our promotional shot for the Mule City 300 at the Galat Motorsports Park. I think that's what they call it. National Tractor Pullers Association making their debut. And here is what you...
Are you ready for the greatest motorsport on earth? Introducing Full Pull Live, your front row seat to all the action. With exclusive trackside commentary, line driver interviews, and heart-pounding footage of all the raw horsepower action. An all-new stream like no other. Available anywhere and everywhere you are. We are so confident we're giving you a taste of the action for free. This May 31st, watch the first session of the Galat Mule City 300 in Benson, North Carolina without paying a penny. Then, sign up for the $39.99 a month and buckle in for one heck of a season. Full Pull Live. The greatest motorsport on earth streams here.
Yeah, so it doesn't get much cooler than that. Awesome highlight video, some great clips in there. I saw Toma, I saw several other big tracks. Lots of pulling coming this way. FullPull.live is going to be streaming the most of Grand National pulls this year, as well as a few other places where they might turn up. So if you want quick, easy, immediate access to that, $39.99 or $39.95, depending on where that 4 cents is going, that's without a doubt the best way to be doing that. Doug, are you excited to be working with those guys this summer?
I am. We've assembled an awesome crew of people. We've got people from the wildlife that were involved with hunting shows, and guys that have edited and produced big time events. So, and then we've got good camera people. I've been fortunate enough to put together a group of, I think we got 5 people that are going to run most of the season with us. So
yeah, some of those hunting shows, like if you watch a lot of like social media and YouTube and streaming platforms, like legitimately, and I compare it to a lot of the work we do on our podcast, some of those hunting shows, those guys really have it figured out. I know around here, a big one that's kind of loosely based out of Missouri and Southern Iowa is like the Hunting Public. They're really, really good at that. So if you get out and watch, like no doubt about it, if you can latch onto some of those guys, they know what they're doing. Parade Alley Pong, Mr. BG Party Nut. So he's going to watch Benson, wants to know if the live stream has live play-by-play audio. So I've heard some of these pulls, and I don't know, and Doug, you might know the answer. Some of them you'll be hearing the announcers that are at the pull. Some of the time you'll be hearing exclusive broadcasters to Full Pull Live. Is that kind of how that works?
The game plan is to have a team of 3 announcers for every event. We'll have a trackside announcer. We'll have 2 play-by-play announcers, and then we'll get into house sound or the event as needed, opening ceremonies, awards, situations like that.
Right. So when you're listening to a pull from home, the announcer that's calling that pull, he is calling kind of exclusively to the at-home audience. Right. And I know there's some big names. There's a lot of really good announcers that I've kind of heard people talk about filling up the schedule that'll be announcing through there. So you're going to be having some of the best. So will Benson have those full pull exclusive announcers broadcasting it?
Yes. I was just going to look and see who our announcers are for the weekend. That's a heck of a show coming up, though. I think that's probably the biggest and best show that Galat has had. They got Pro Stocks, Open Supers, Minis, Light Mods, 4-wheel drive trucks, and of course, I'm going to miss the last one. I'm
pulling it up right here on the NTPA schedule. Light Super Stock Open, Big Pros, 4-wheel drives, Minis, and Light Mods. So you're going to see smoke. You're going to see alcohol burners. You're going to see mods. Yeah, of course, out there in North Carolina, you're imagining you're going to see Shelton's with their new Pro Stock. You're going to see the Galat team out there with their Big Super and their Light Super Stock out there, plus the Light Mods, which should be an intriguing class to see this year as well. Chuck says he's going to be live in Farley. Yeah, I've heard Chuck.
Chuck is helping us. Chuck is helping us in Farley. So
yep. So he's going to be on the microphone in Farley. Chuck Hobbs is excellent to work with. Knows pulling inside and out. Pulls a NA mini rod himself.
Our live stream announcers will be Jason Schultz and Phil Kelly.
Perfect.
This weekend. And then Bert Forbes is going to do our sideline announcing. So
definitely. So you've got a good crew kicking it off right there. Sound should be awesome. Video should be awesome. If you ever need a trackside reporter with getting the live, maybe we'll call it Bush Lights with Party Pong. We'll do that. That'll be like full pull live after dark or something like that. That would be awesome. So Dale Kwame has a good one here. Just download a Full Pull Live app on Roku. Recommend downloading the app on the phone first, set up an account, then TV app will create a code to link your subscription from the phone. Boom. Doesn't get much easier than that. I'm a button person. I do all this on my computer. I like to go out to the computer and kind of sign everything in it. And I do want a tale where I messed things up, because if there's a way Mike Idle can find a way to do something weird or different or dumb, I'll accidentally do it. So this is a quick warning out there. I made an account with fullpull.us for all the practice free betting. And I used one email with one password. And then later on, I made a different email with a different password for fullpull.live. Just be aware of what you signed in where. I assumed that one would translate to the other. And I realized later on that I actually had different emails with those. So if you have made a goofy mistake like that, just be aware. If it says it's not recognizing it, double check which email you signed in with and just be sure of that, because I had to go there and figure that out. Yeah, Bush Lights after dark. Maybe during the day too. I like Bush Lights during the day as well. Yep, cold trains. We can have some cold trains too. Whatever floats you up. And that's just where it starts. We've got 7 pulls. I've got 7 pulls that we're going to run through and talk about tonight. The show is going to be fairly short and sweet. We know it's Memorial Day. We want to be respectful of that. We know that pullers are very busy and have a lot of places they need to be. So we want to be respectful of that. And we know that some of you guys might be feeling the jet lag, pulling your campers home this weekend. So we're going to be very mindful to that. Great reviews here. Says a Full Pull app on Roku is very nice and easy to navigate. It's exactly what we want to hear. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And Doug, you touched on that. Not just a great live stream platform, but also a great show, a great lineup of Grand National pulling to start off the season. A lot of good iron at a pull that the pullers don't want to miss. They're going to make that travel time and get out there to North Carolina to gobble up those early season points, which will pay dividends later in the year in that all important points battles that they're going to be chasing. But then, so that'll be this Friday, May 31st, and Saturday, June 1st. That'll be next weekend. Pretty much the only pull that we kind of loosely have on the docket. And then after that, the weekend after that, June 7th and 8th, and we'll even back up to Wednesday, June 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Lots of pulls. That's when everybody really, really hits the ground running. And a couple of those that we especially want to talk about tonight, speaking of announcing and who's going to be where and what your lineup is, we'll hop over to kind of my brand of things here a little bit. I'm going to be working with the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pullers Association this year. I'm going to be on the microphone for them from time to time, pretty regularly through July, and I will be on the microphone out here at Ravenna, Nebraska, June 7th and 8th is where the Outlaws are kicking off their pull. Ravenna, Nebraska, it's in central Nebraska, to the best of my understanding. The Ravenna Truck and Tractor Pull, June 7th and 8th. Showtime starts at 7 o'clock both nights for the Thunder in the Dirt Outlaw Pulling Series. They call it their national series. Big lineup out there. You can see right here on the banner. We've got modified two-wheel drive trucks. I say it all the time. The Outlaws modified two-wheel drive trucks. Take the Coke to Pepsi challenge with any two-wheel drives out there. You'll see some of the absolute strongest two-wheelers that you want to watch.
Out of Texas are pretty mean.
Yeah, I always like it. You ever seen that movie Tombstone where it says, you tell them I'm coming and hell's coming with me? I always say, you tell them the Outlaws are coming and Texas is coming with them, because those boys out of Texas, they lay over for absolutely no one, especially in that two-wheel drive truck class, which means usually they put these together. Yeah, if you look right across the screen here, modified two-wheelers and, of course, the 7,400-pound modified tractors. A lot of those Texas guys haul dual toters and trailers, and a lot of them have a two-wheeler as well as a mod tractor. So, of course, in Ravenna, you'll see that ground-pounding, heart-throbbing horsepower. Modified two-wheeler is going to be there, and the modified 7,400-pound the big mods at the Outlaws have another great class that I really, really like. Kind of comparable to the NTPA light mods to a degree. They're heavier, but there's some similar
1,200
things.
pounds heavier, I think. Or is it 6,500?
I say they're significantly heavier, but comparable power plant setups. So that's always a lot of fun. Diesel super stock tractors, the Outlaws and the NTPA both offer that. So
that's going to be a really good class on Friday night.
that one's going to be Friday and Saturday. So what's special about Friday night?
Friday night will be good.
Because everybody. So what you're saying is nobody's got any boo-boos yet, right? Nobody. And some of these guys got to fine tune, or at least one tractor we know of got to fine tune it at the Pullers Championship with the Remedy High Tech coming away with a Saturday night win. It'll be there along with stablemates Scrappy and the Meisinger family. So that right there, you've got your mod two-wheelers, your mod tractors, your diesel supers, Pro Stock 4x4 trucks. Fans, if you haven't watched these a lot, I highly, highly encourage it. This is a naturally aspirated four-wheel drive truck class, just like the mod trucks. They run a little bit smaller cube. I think they're limited to like a big block Chevy, basically. No Hemis in that class and DOT tires, but a lot of the other rules are very similar. And that's an RPM screaming class. I really, really like watching that class. That's a driver's class. Light limited Pro Stock, the LLPs, 8,500 pounds, 466 cubic inch, 1 3-inch turbo. That's an old school tractor class. Tractors that look and sound like tractors. That one's a lot of fun to watch. Pro Stock tractors, the big pros, 5-inch turbos with the Outlaws. Light limited. We said light limited Pro Stock. Light Pro Stock tractors, the 540s. Those are always a lot of fun. Got some new iron in that class this year as well. The Super Farm tractors. Outlaws got a stacked lineup of those as well. Light super stock tractors, a lot of hard running Alki burners in that one. Light limited modified. We like to call those just the light modified because they're not all that limited. They're about.
That's an awesome class.
That one, if you like, yet again, old school variety in a mod class. If you want to see turbines, if you want to see Allisons, if you want to see, a pair of V8 automotives with turbochargers in it, And that class really limited by weight. They can take some wild rides in that class too. And then another class takes wild rides, the light super stock ag. And if you're not super familiar with that class, that's your light super stocks from kind of years gone by, or that's a bad way to say it. They're ag chassis, they're ag rear end. That's
the cast ass class.
I was going to let you say it. So you've got the perfect nickname, the cast ass. You're really limited by weight in that one. There's a couple of D21s that run in that. Not a lot of movable weight when you've got an Allis-Chalmers rear end in that. And they can burn diesel or alcohol in that class. They can run multiple turbos depending on the cubic inch. I think they go up to 504, and you can run 3 or 4 turbo setups. And if you go over 504, you're still allowed, but they run single chargers beyond that. So a lot of variety in that class as well. And this is a 2-day show. And this is one that the Outlaws are very, very excited.
It's a nice place. It's cool. All the outlaw places are out in the middle of, I wouldn't say out in the middle of nowhere, but they're unique venues, and this is one of them.
And I feel like the Outlaws have a lot of those quirks and claim to fame and curveball. They have that X factor you see at a lot of them that makes pulling really, really enjoyable. When you talk about the Rock Valleys and the Wisners, the Lufkin, Texas, we were talking about that before we came on here. A lot of really cool settings. So that'll be a 2-day show. Friday.
My advice for Ravenna, if you're walking the pits, just watch where you walk. They literally use the pasture. There were cattle in there probably this week, and they'll lock them out and use the pasture as the pits. So
if you've got a flat bottom spade, maybe carry it with you and throw some stuff out of the way if you need to. Is what you're saying? It's
not that bad, but that's what it is. It's pasture.
That's cowboy country. I feel like Outlaws embrace that brand. They're the west of the river. They get out into western Iowa. They get into Nebraska. I mean, truly, that's. You think of the legendary announcer Dave Bennett from Oklahoma, and he's got that cowboy approach to doing things. And that's what you see a lot of out there, but can't undersell the quality of the show and the quality of the equipment that we'll see out there either. Really good stuff that we're going to see. And that's a good one they're excited to be debuting their season with. They don't have a ton of 2-day shows, but that's a 2-day event. So come for Friday, stay for Saturday, 7:00 both nights. And if that's just a little too far west for you, Doug, there's one on the east side of Iowa, right over there, flirting with Wisconsin. This one's probably not terribly far from your back. This can be one of the closer drives for you this year, I bet.
It is. It's an hour and 20 minutes from.
So you're excited about this one. You'll be home on Sunday with some Sunday left.
Sunday morning, yes.
So tell us about this. These are both June 7th and 8th. The Outlaws are hanging out in Ravenna, Nebraska, central Nebraska, kind of out west. On the east side, we're going to Farley, Iowa. Now, there's a reason that town should ring a bell to all you viewers out there. That is the home of the Simons. And if you've seen
the pro stock capital of the world, too.
Without it, maybe the pulling capital of the world right now. There's a lot of iron in that town, and there's a lot of vehicles that have made pit stops in that town. A lot of our pulling community has gone through there. So Full Pull Live will be streaming this one as well, right?
Correct.
Okay, so Farley, Iowa, right over there and this would be a fun one to go. Take the family to this one. This is just outside of Dyersville, Iowa. Dyersville, Iowa is the home of the Field of Dreams movie site and the Ertl Toy Tractor Museum. I've been there a couple of times. It is, if you like Ertl tractors and toy tractors and the history there, a lot of fun to be had there. And we haven't even talked about the pull yet. So this one's going to be good. Chuck says he's on the microphone that night. Are you pumped up to be headed to Farley?
That is a very impressive track. It's at a racetrack, but that track was built for pulling. It's on the infield.
Yeah.
They hauled that. I don't remember where RJ said that dirt came from, but it was a ways. They brought the right stuff in to build the track. So
they planted and you're seeing track building is becoming such a thing that we look at now. They planted rye or planted something in it that's supposed to be good for the soil composition. I saw a picture the other day. It was all green. So they'll have that cut out and worked in and ready to go. let's see what classes are pulling that night. I'll go down the NTPA website. So this will be Grand National Pull number 2. It's fun the way NTPA has their schedule now. It used to seem like the NTPA almost didn't get going until Tomah. And now you've got Benson, Farley, and Hutchinson all before we even get to Tomah. So the points races are getting in deep really early in the season.
Except for Benson and Rockwell. I mean, we've got our northern swing, and then we've got our break, and then we do the Chapel Hill, Port Recovery, come back to Rockwell. Then we spend the rest of August in Ohio.
In Ohio,
it's very short travel between everything too. It's a couple hours max between events in Ohio.
Ohio is to the NTPA what Western Iowa and Eastern Nebraska are to the Outlaws. I mean, that is their heart. There's a lot of pullers from Eastern Indiana and Central Ohio, and you're going to live in Ohio on the back half of your season.
Once we leave about the 8th of August, we will not be back until Labor Day.
So classes at Farley, they're going to have Super Farms, and the pulls will be this is Friday and Saturday, same as the Ravenna show. Friday, June 7th, Saturday, June 8th. Different start time, 6:30, starting at 6:30 Central Daylight Time, and they're going to be pulling Super Farms, Pro Stocks, the big pros. No real charger limit on those. The only limit on the size of the charger on those is how big are they building them right now, which is upwards of 6.5 inches is what I've heard. I mean, that's probably the most popular class in pulling in the pulling world right now is the 10,000 pound big boy Pro Stock. So they'll have the Super Farms, the Pro Stock, the 2-wheel drives, the 4-wheel drives, the semis, and the mods. Now, a lot of these make a lot of sense. Pro Stocks, Simon's own. 2-wheel drives, Simon's own. 4-wheel drives, semis, and mods, the Simons all own. So I joked, I was talking with RJ on one of our previous shows, like, well, does this mean you're going to buy a Super Farm? Because you guys are putting on a pull with an entry in every single class. So the best way to ask, what's going on in Farley? What are the Simons own? You're going to see Brandon or RJ driving something the whole way. So that's your heavy hitters too. Between there's
a Super Farm not very far down the road, so he might have a little influence.
True. So that's a stacked lineup. June 7th and 8th, both in Farley. What do they call this? The 300 Raceway Nationals. Does this one have a fun ring to it? The Farley Nationals. It's right here on the website. The Farley Nationals. So yeah, that one. And like you said, it's the grandstand seating there is really exceptional as well because it's at a racetrack built onto a hillside. So the seating there's not a bad seat in the house, but it's not like the old days where the pullers were forced to pull on the racetrack. They've got a purpose-built infield track, double track, obviously. Should be a really, really good time there. 6:30 both nights. I want to ask a question about this one, Doug. Will anybody hold a candle? Will anybody beat the Simon Says Modified at its own track? That tractor's rattled off like 7 consecutive wins. I've unofficially named it the vehicle of 2024. That thing it's on top of the world right now.
Right.
That one's gonna be tough to beat.
I think if Mr. Voorhees had a little more practice, he might give him a run. He usually does. But, he's only run at the farm show and the truck show so far. So
yeah, only indoor tracks too. So he'll be, you don't want to say cutting his teeth. Obviously someone
he got a test pass in last fall. He was able to run it last fall, but
okay. And he's going to run that in the light mod a little bit as well. Right. Yep. So he's running 3 engines on that. So he'll get to see what it does in Benson with 2, which, is as I said earlier, if he wants to give that tractor some extra weight, any of those light mods, they can come pull with the Outlaws and add a bunch of pounds if they want to. But he'll be pulling with NTPA, I'm sure, competing for points, and then he'll have that mod there in Farley. Got some great comments rolling in. So the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association says, hey, if you're going to Ravenna, bring your fishing bucket. Great great bait under some of those famous patties. And this one, I'm going to touch this one lightly. He says some big heifers in the pits at Bowling Green too. So yeah, well, don't know if we're talking cattle here still. So I'll let to each his own, my good pal, to each his own. You happen to see the new Grand National Mini do some test runs this weekend? I was camping with the family and I made an agreement with my wife. She said the phone goes down, the pulling goes down this weekend. You're at a family reunion. So Chuck, I am playing catch up on watching videos. I know Doug, you've been busy, but any inkling
There is.
as to-
There's a twin turbo tractor out of southern Wisconsin that.
So I saw this one on the comments.
He'll be the reason for turbo rules. Let's just put it that way.
I know the one you're talking about now, and I didn't realize that was going to run Grand National. I thought that was going to run more local to home, but
modified. But
there's a couple of those.
They're signed up for PPL.
That's something people have been wanting the twin turbo setup to work in minis for a while, and it seems like when you go to Bowling Green, and I've seen it at Fort Recovery, you almost always see one out there, and I hope they get there. I hope they get them figured out because it's always fun to see something
I hope we
cool.
get to see them in Toma, honestly.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Chuck, not a bad seat in the house in Farley. I can't imagine that there would be. Nope, I can't imagine. Impressive lineup. Yeah, absolutely. The heavy show. Farley is bringing a lot of heavy iron. Anytime you've got 10 pros and super semis plus some mods in there, be it unlimited or mods, yeah, that's your power show. So no doubt about it. Says if Simon's modified wins again, you should start an 800 number. Future telling line 99. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it. Just I don't know, man. It's just hard to beat. They know how to drive. It's running right. Every tractor has its year, and it seems like that's the year for this one. Cole checking in, super fan Cole Lundahl. I don't know if anybody contributes on social media with more quality comments than Cole. Cole follows everything. It seems like every time I'm answering comments on there, Cole's on there. Cole's
he helps out with the Outlaw live stream too. So
I know that his and I's paths will cross this season, and I'm very much looking forward to that. So thank you for checking in, Cole. And we're really just getting rolling. So that June 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, a lot of iron. So if you're west of the river, west of the Missouri River even, go out to Ravenna. If you're west of the river, but east of the Missouri River, west of the Mississippi, I should say, if you're in eastern Iowa, find your way to Farley. But if you are somewhere in Missouri, and I'm from Missouri, and I have no idea where this is. I didn't get a chance to look it up. Lamar, Missouri, same weekend, June 8th. Now, anytime it's a town I don't know in Missouri, I assume it's down south. I live in north central Missouri, and I've been kind of both sides of the state on the north half, so I know most of the town. So when I don't know it, I assume it's south. But Missouri, MSTPA, Missouri State Tractor Pullers Association, is hosting a good one in Lamar, and I've got the lineups for this one over here.
Lamar is in between Kansas City and Joplin, right on 6049.
So that's southwest. So that's down there.
In Nevada or Nevada, however they pronounce it.
Nevada, the welding school in Nevada. Yeah, so that's going to be in southwest Missouri. Really, really good state level pulling here. MSTPA has been rocking central Missouri and the Midwest and eastern Kansas for a long time. And they're going to have 5,900-pound modified tractors, 6,000-pound pro field tractors, 6,200-pound pro stock 4x4 trucks. I talked about those earlier. Two-wheel drive trucks, talked about those. Light limited super stocks. Hey, Doug, what's the easiest way to get the internet up in a tizzy? All you do is have to mention the word light limited super stock. And it's like throwing fish to a pond or throwing food to a pond full of fish. You throw that out there.
Throwing gas on a fire.
But that being said, regardless of where it pulls and what their local rules are, they put on a show. That is a fun class, no matter what, be it single chargers, multiple chargers, 6,000
I think
pounds, 6,400
that's
pounds.
Wisconsin state class. That's probably their biggest class, and that's only been in existence for a few years.
The light limited supers everybody wants to see, because yet again it turns the clock back. It brings a lot of variety. Really, really good stuff there. So the light limited supers, they're going to be pulling in Lamar, as well as 9,500 pound pro field. So you're going to look at some skinny tires on those. And then they also wanted to let us know, plus a few exhibition hooks. So maybe a couple guys are testing and tuning. Maybe a couple guys are getting some runs in down there. I know we've got some modified four-wheel drive truck pullers and some pro stock 4x4 truck pullers that pull at the Outlaws in Southwest Missouri. I anticipate we'll see in Ravenna, but maybe if they're not quite ready to rock and roll, you might see them pull in there. So if you're in Southern Missouri, Northeast Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, check that one out. I mean, you're going to be able to find a pull this weekend, this next weekend, the weekend after Benson, you're going to be able to find one. And if you're way north, like way up north, I guess I'm not close to Canada, but there is a pull in Canada, Manitoba's largest truck and tractor pull, June 7th and 8th. That's that same Friday and Saturday. So just go outside, people. You'll be able to hear the noise, it sounds like, because there's going to be a pull everywhere June 7th and 8th, that second weekend in June, first full weekend in June. It's going to be at the Stampede Grounds in Morris, Manitoba. Doug, you ever been to Manitoba? Been to Canada?
I have not. I've been to Ontario, but never to Manitoba.
I couldn't even tell you which one is which. Is Ontario, is that the one that dips down closer to the United States, or is that
Ontario is basically northeast Minnesota, straight north and east.
All right.
Upstate New York, and then Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and then what's out there on the very far side.
Yep. So what's going on in Morris, Manitoba? Just going down the flyers, a live time with you guys. Looks like on Friday, all sorts of vendors and cool things. There's food trucks, pedal pull for the kids, open pits, beer gardens. Hey, beer gardens, there you go. BG Party Nut. They're drinking beer in Canada. Monster truck rides, and then the tractor pull starts at 7 o'clock. Then on Saturday, a lot of the similar lineup. Monster truck rides again, tractor pull at 7. This one, I didn't get a class order for this one. I was searching and looking. This is one that was not in my notes. This one's north of the border, but I do know this. Canada loves tractor pulling, and the Canadians can pull with the absolute best of them, and there's guaranteed to be good iron anytime that you go up there.
I'm not having any luck finding classes either.
Yep, that one was...
That is where the original remedy is. I just got a picture.
The 1206.
1206 is up there.
It's up. Well, hey, it might be in Manitoba then. You might see it. Does it have the same paint job still?
It does.
That's awesome.
I think Jason said from last year, it's like going back to 2014 or whatever. Nothing's really changed on it. So fingers crossed if you could see that there. That would be really cool. So some of the best fans are our cousins across the lake. I like that you put it that way. Yeah. Not across the pond, but across the lake. You get across the lake up into Canada. And they are passionate fans. I saw just how passionate they were first time I went to Bowling Green, and they played the Canadian national anthem before we started the pull, because there's such a big pulling presence up in Canada. So we've got pulls. Watching videos, there's mini rods and mods and two-wheel drives, like modified two-wheel drives, and then probably the hot farms and diesel trucks. So good show.
That one's going to be a good show. Chuck says we're right around the corner from Macville. You hear that name thrown, or hear that the name of that town thrown around a lot. There's a big pull, good pull in Macville for sure.
You can go to church and be a sinner in the matter of 30 seconds each other.
Is that so? That sounds to me like a Catholic community. That sounds like you can drink at the pool and walk across. And is it a Catholic church? I'll almost bet it is.
Oh, yes. And then there's a gentleman's club across the street from the church.
So, boy, that's a weekend, Doug. You go up there, you're black smoke on Friday night.
They'll have polls on Thursday night, and then bring in Badger State and PPL. There's a couple champion tour classes Friday, Saturday, and then I think they have garden tractors maybe on Sunday, or the farm stock is Sunday and the mini rods are Thursday night. But
so it's really good. So Friday night you can see the black smoke. Saturday night you can be entertained at the Gentlemen's Club. You can wash away your sins on Sunday morning, and once you're cleansed, go back to the track for a Sunday afternoon show and start right back up.
Right.
Oh, that is awesome. So we got pulls June 7th and 8th, the first full weekend in June. We got Benson, North Carolina next weekend. That's pretty much the only big one. That's the only one that's all eyes are going to be on that. Jump to the next weekend. Western Nebraska or Central Nebraska, way out west, you're going to be looking at Ravenna. East side of the Midwest and Farley. Down south, you'll be in Southwest Missouri, and way up north, you're going to be in Canada. But if you're in the heart of the Midwest and another state and another local organization, a state level organization that I think has been killing it lately, you can go to Illinois. We're still flirting with the real Midwest area here. You can go into Illinois and ISTPA, as well as several others. We've got a lot going on here. Wednesday, Thursday show. So on Wednesday, June 5th, the Illinois Farm Pullers Association is putting on a pull, as well as the Heartland Garden Pullers. So that's going to be June 5th at 6. The garden show, garden pullers are at 6, and then the big boys are coming out at 6:30. And you're going to see classes of just reading this live time with you guys. 5,500 Classic, some 6,200 Pro Street, as well as some other ones on there. And then on Thursday night, the Illinois Tractor Pullers Association, the ITPA, really, really good organization. 8,500 Limited Pro. So that's a class we've talked about a little bit. 8,500 pound Limited Pro stock. 466 cubic inch, 3-inch turbo. Light Mods, talked about them a lot too. They put on a great show. Light Super Stocks, Alky Burners putting on a great show. 2-wheel drives and the heavy supers. So if you like the big boys burning alcohol. So that Thursday night show at the Pike County Fair, the Pike County Fair Truck and Tractor Pulls in Pleasant Hill, Illinois, has a really, really good lineup there as well. Oh yeah, here's a fun comment we've got to put up here. The Sprocks are looking for some redemption at the Pike County Fair. We've talked about the Diesel Supers in Ravenna are going to be good because there's no boo-boos yet. But you want to talk about a big boo-boo? The Sprock Farms, they started their season off with a bang, or maybe a snap would be a better way to put it, at the Pike County Fair last year, where they split the frame, is what I think they did. So yeah, they're looking for redemption.
You know, Badger State is known for their pro stock class, probably the best state association for pro stocks. I think ITPA has probably got that wrapped up for two-wheelers.
Sure. Well, and that's is this the same? And I think I said it wrong earlier. I think I said ISTPA. I don't think there's an S in there. Is this the same organization that you see the Corzines pulling with, and the Bollingers pulling with, the Nelsons pulling with? Yeah. Enough said when it comes to heavy hitting 2-wheel drives. So you'll see some great 2-wheel drives there. Light modified. The Bollingers, do they have a light mod?
They still have a single engine Allison.
That's what I thought. So we wouldn't be surprised to see that there. So if you're jumping the river, if you're on the east side of the Mississippi in Illinois, find your way over to Pleasant Hill, and there's a great one there. And then Tucker Burson, you get the comment of the night, because here, we'll go up here. He says, any pulls in Ohio soon? He says, you guys mess with any OSTPA over here in Ohio? Well, sir, what an excellent comment, because that's going to bring it to our 7th and final pull that we need to talk about. Also in the same weekend, absolutely. June 7th and 8th, OSTPA, as well as COTPC. Doug, tell them about that.
Central Ohio Truck Pulling.
So
Ohio Truck Pull.
they've got some great stuff. So the Central Ohio Truck Pulling is going to roll out at the Spring Showdown at what do they call this? Dragway 42. Dragway 42. And then this is in West Salem, Ohio, June 7th and 8th. Dragway 42 in West Salem. June 7th, the Central Ohio Truck Pullers are going to get rocking and rolling out there at 7 o'clock. They're going to have their work stock diesel, the light pro stock gas, 2.6 diesel, and the 3.0 diesel. 2.6 diesel and 3.0 diesel are awesome, awesome classes. I'm a big fan of the 3.0 diesels. A lot of those in northern Missouri and western Missouri, so we see those a lot. And then Saturday, June 8th, OSTPA, maybe the premier state level organization out there. They're going to put on a show on Saturday. Gates are going to open at 4 and the pull starts at 6:30. 9 classes on 2 tracks, including limited pro diesel trucks, two-wheel drive trucks, those two-wheelers we keep talking about, super stock diesel trucks, top-notch class. They put on a great show at the Pullers Championship last weekend. Modified four-wheel drive trucks, my favorite. You can never count them out. Modified tractors, pro stock tractors, super stock tractors, light limited pro stock, and the pro stock semis. That's
a badass class there.
That's stacked. That is a loaded pull that we're going to see there in West Salem, Ohio. So I'm going to be in Ravenna. You're going to be in Farley. Let's pretend our schedules weren't full. Would you make your way to the OSTPA event? Would you go to the ITPA event? Would you go down to Lamar, up to Canada, or would you just clone yourself so you could be at all of them?
I think I'd go to Ohio. Kyle, the Matcham family they've got 2 events there a year. We've worked, Beer Money's worked with them. This is probably the 3rd year. And it's up and coming. I mean, it gets bigger and better every year.
Yeah, that one, that's awesome. Yeah, pro stock, you said pro stock semi class. That one's growing in popularity too. That's a great one. I saw a pro stock semi puller throw a brand new turbocharger down on the track at a test and tune in Boonville a few weeks ago. He shrugged it off and said, "It's nothing money can't fix. We'll be back for the point season, so don't worry about it." But they put on a great show.
Hopefully they get some of the Ohio trucks to come out and run at least like Rock Valley and such. We've the Scots, I've talked to them a few times about coming out.
Yeah, so that'll be absolutely awesome. So that's a loaded weekend. So there's six different pulls. If you're in the heart of the Midwest, you can be in Ohio. If you're flirting with the river, you can go to Illinois. Then of course you can jump the river, go to Farley, go to Ravenna, go up north to Manitoba, or go down south to Lamar. Parade Alley Pong says OSTPA rocks and Dragway 42 is a good show. Tucker says they pull with COTPC. What do you guys pull? That's awesome, man. Dave Schultz going to hit some comments here, Doug, and then I know you got an early flight and we've chewed up about an hour already. Maumee Valley Pullers has a pull June 14th and 15th.
I believe that's a region event.
Cody Skluzacek says Supermod 4-wheel drives are wild. Lots of different types of builds, but very cool. Yeah, the super modified 4-wheel drives with the blowers on them. Those things are incredible. And to answer our question, he says June 15th is an NTPA hook, so that'll be a region show. And he also says Eileen's are putting a single small charger on their semi and are just pulling pro stock semi now. Doug, what's your thoughts on that?
Interesting.
That'll be cool.
Probably make it live.
Jim Schwartzman says, are there any semi pulls with the Outlaw? Yes, we run pro stock semis in the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. They pull quite a few places right off. This is not my official schedule, but I've got my Outlaw schedule here, and the semis have 9 hooks this year. Rock Valley, Montgomery City, and this might be dated. This is not the most up-to-date schedule. I need to get my up-to-date one here, but this tentatively where they have looked at before. Warrensburg, Missouri, Wayne, Nebraska. Great show out there in Wayne at the Wayne County Fair. Platte City, Missouri. I'm fairly certain they pull there. And Bedford, Iowa. I know they want to pull at Bedford.
Right.
Brent Meyer told me that's about his favorite track. Says there's an awesome track in up there in Bedford. So, yep. Pro stock semis. It's not the hot rod semis or the super semis, but the pro stock semis, and it's still awesome.
Two of the outlaw pulling trucks did really well at Onaway this weekend doing the drag racing. Yes. Those are dual purpose trucks. I don't know what they have to change to do it, but Zimmerman's, I believe they won the loaded class. And then, that Ford from Missouri, they're all from about the same area, but
they're up there around Northwest Missouri, up around Maryville. That's where I went to college at. It took me 6 years to get a 4-year degree. So a lot
You're
of
an
fun.
English teacher.
A lot of fun is had in Northwest Missouri. And there's a lot of pro stock semi pullers, a lot of diesel pullers in that area as well. Was that the Dave Schultz of Bowling Green?
Yes, it was.
You're the man. And the SCLUSA checks will be in Ellsworth, Wisconsin. They have a little mission. I get a kick out of these guys. So they're Minnesota pullers, and they love to come over there into your state, Doug. And they say they like to try to go home with that Wisconsin money. They say that Wisconsin money, it spins a little bit better when they bring it back across state lines with them. So
right.
they always like to sneak over there and test the iron a little bit. So great followers. The SCLUSA checks follow a lot of our social media. Great contributors. That's my goal before we got on here. I said, let's make it a 30-minute show because you've got places to be. I also said, but I ramble. So we're right at an hour, 7 pulls in 2 weeks, 6 of them going down the 6th and 7th. Doug's going to be in Farley with Full Pull Live. I'm going to be in Ravenna with outlawpulling.tv. If you can't be there in person, that's where you can live stream them. And they're kind of the same platform, $39.99 a month. Cancel at any time, but I promise you, once you subscribe, you won't want to cancel. I know with the Outlaws, you get backdated pulls as well. Will Full Pull be that same way? Once you guys build your library up, will you be able to go back? So like in the 2025 season, you can go back and watch the entire 2024 season, right?
I believe so.
That is the most, I'll tell you what, for the Outlaw way, that was the most handy thing ever. I spent my entire winter break rewatching the 2023 season because at $39.99 a month, that was thousands of hooks and 50 different pulls and 60 sessions of pulling. It was right there at my fingertips just for one season. The library goes all the way back to like 2018 or something like that. So that's our pulls, Doug. You've got big plans and big places to be. Tell everyone what time you're flying out.
6 a.m. out of Madison. It's an hour and a half to the airport, and I got to check a bag, so we need to leave at 3:30. So
at 3:30 in the morning. So Doug told me, he goes, Mike, if we can keep it short and sweet, we can do this show together. And I said, no problem. It'll be a half-hour show. So here we are at a full hour. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Pulling is awesome. Pulling is fun. And once June gets here, you can find a pull by the looks of things. You can
go very far to find a pull.
You can find a pull and find somewhere to be. And if you can't, if for whatever reason, if you got 4 flat tires, outlawpulling.tv, fullpull.live, we'll bring it to you. You got to love the world we live in these days. Got some final ones here. Thank you so much. And safe travels, Mr. Doug.
Next week,
Chuck,
Mr. Hobbs.
Chuck, we'll be seeing you soon. Doug, thank you so much for coming on tonight. It was going to be a solo show, and that can be challenging at times. So to have someone on here that we can chit-chat with, I appreciate you sacrificing your time to hop on there. Any closing comments for the people out there on Facebook and YouTube and the internet?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had an awesome Memorial Day. I hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. Take a moment to consider what it does stand for and why we are here. And I hope you had tons of fun, went camping, spent some time with the family. Hope you're energized because pulling season starts very, very soon. Next weekend and the weekend after, we're going to be rocking and rolling. And that's it. We're going to sign off. Let you guys have a great night. Doug,
Have a good
thanks for
night.
coming
Thank
on,
you.
buddy. Yep. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Let's make some noise. Good running. John Deere, Animal Deep Iowa coming up. We got one right behind you.
Done.